We start the day with a period of chanting, which we bring our minds to the objects of refuge, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. These are our guiding lights in our life. And we recite some of the key teachings and planting those seeds or watering the seeds of right view in our minds at the beginning of the day. And chanting in a group requires us to listen to others and feel that sense of community expressed through this harmonious chanting of the Lord Buddha's teachings. This is very good preparation for samadhi practice. As we take our posture, we recall the main points to adopt a posture which is stable and one in which we can maintain without too much physical pain. Posture which expresses self-reliance. One of the qualities of the Sotapanna is that they are self-reliant in the Dhamma. This idea of self-reliance lies at the heart of Theravada Buddhist training. And we begin by expressing it physically. It's like a model. So you can imagine kind of osmosis, by adopting certain physical postures, and they bear within them an idea and a feeling and a sense that resonates with the inner training, inner development. So sitting on the floor cross-legged means we're taking responsibility for our body. We're not leaning back on anything, not looking for any external supports. And simply that daily practice, that regular practice of sitting free from all supports, taking responsibility for the physical body in the present moment. This contributes to the cultivation of the Dhamma. The spine is the key here, and yesterday I suggested this way of stretching the spine and feeling as if the tailbone, the coccyx is gently pressing down into the earth, and the head is aspiring, is gently pushing upwards to the heaven and creating this bridge between heaven and earth with the spinal column. And come back to the posture at intervals during the meditation. It is, especially if you are prone to dullness or sleepiness, then that first onset of dullness will be expressed physically with a slumping of the body. Mentioned yesterday the skillful means of allowing the two thumbs to lightly rest, touching each other, so that if mindfulness is lost and the thumbs fall apart, you have an early warning system. So we generate interest, generate commitment, generate enthusiasm for this practice. Again, to repeat an idea of illuminating obstacles by focusing on one particular point or theme, then bringing up thoughts of the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha, the practice, in order to generate chanta, enthusiasm, also serves to show us what the raw materials that we are starting with this morning exactly are. Is there some resistance in the mind, or is the mind just all ready to go? And however it is, we work with that. I spoke yesterday at some length on this idea of zooming in, zooming out. These are not compulsory practices that I'm teaching you here. I'm wanting to give you options and things to work with and trial in this conducive atmosphere. The values I see in this zooming out practice, where at the beginning of the session you're aware of the breath as more as a container and framework for a equanimous, even-minded acknowledgement of whatever phenomena arising, physical phenomena, sensations that are arising in the body, and following this systematic practice of dividing the body into 4 areas: the head, face and neck, area 1, the shoulders, arms, hands and fingers 2, the torso 3, the lower body 4, and having sat and recognized, acknowledged, without like and dislike, without interfering, simply observing these sensations in the area 1, 2, 3, 4, then being aware of the sensations in the whole body, integrate all four areas. So the purpose here, the goal here is you are developing the skill of directing attention to the area 1, directing attention to area 2, to area 3, to area 4, to integration of 4 areas. You're teaching the mind how to fulfill a task that you set for it. This is a very valuable life skill. And it also allows you to come into the practice of breath awareness in a very relaxed and natural kind of way, that focusing on the area, the tip of the nose, for example, is kind of a special kind of thing, and it's very easy to get forceful and push too much, try too hard, and so this initial greeting of the body and the breath is very relaxed and kind of enjoyable, non-threatening way. It's a very good preparation for turning to the meditation on the breath at the particular point, whether it be within the nostrils, the tip of the nostrils, in the heart area, in the abdomen. So this idea of zooming out, zooming in, I'm sharing with you, and as I mentioned yesterday, you can spend a few minutes doing this, or you could spend 30 seconds doing it. You can. It's a tool in your toolbox. It's a skillful means. If you have been practicing Anapanasati for some time, and your mind just is happy and feels that when you go to that spot on the tip of your nose or wherever it may be, it's like you're coming home, then that's a very good sign. It's like coming back to my place, my own place. Like if you've been out at work and long busy day, that feeling when you come home and you're in your own home, your own place, and you can take off your jacket and your shoes and you just home at last. That's the kind of feeling, and you can develop with the breath meditation. It's a place to come back to, feel comfortable in. So the zoom out, zoom in, this is an option for you, and as I say, there are some advantages to it. And if you are meditating on the breath at a particular point and you feel a sense of stiffness and constriction and lack of joy, and it's all just becoming a bit too hard work, it's frustrating, then expanding out to this zooming out mode of Anapanasati can just allow you just to relax a little bit and come back again and start again, start afresh. I began the retreat by mentioning the 4 right efforts, and the first effort requires us to create, to generate this interest, enthusiasm in protecting the mind from as yet unarisen, unwholesome mental states, called the hindrances. How do we do that? Well, the chanda, the enthusiasm itself is the glue, if you like, which will forge a bond between the knowing part of the mind and the object itself. We also to cultivate a contentment with the mind, and that contentment can be purely in terms of the pleasant feeling that arises when you are mindful of a wholesome or a neutral object. So this, the 4 satipatthanas, we're mindful of the body, of feelings, of the mind, of mind objects. There is always, at every single moment of our lives, vedana present, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. And in the course of the meditation, include that awareness of vedana also, and observe that whenever the mind is mindful of the breath, it's pleasant. It may not be, give rise to piti and sukha yet, but it is inherently pleasant to be mindful of a wholesome object. Excuse me. And recognizing that it's encouraging, it makes you want to carry on, because we all prefer sukha vedana to dukkha vedana. But to strengthen the connection between the knowing and the object, we can also use other skillful means. The one that I mentioned yesterday was the use of a parikamma word, a mantra such as Buddho, 2-syllable word is best, one for the in-breath and one for the out-breath. Although we make the point here that you can also practice that Buddho or use some other parikamma word independently of the breath. And that could be just to change some time, just to freshen the mind a little bit, and just be inwardly reciting Buddho without paying any attention to the breath at all. And many great meditators, monks have practiced in that way and received great results by doing so. But apart from the parikamma word, used in conjunction with breath, can also use a counting technique. Again, there are so many different counting techniques. I think the point to remember is that the mindfulness is still primarily of the breath. The mindfulness is not shouldn't be too much on the counting itself. So we maybe think of as a percentage, maybe as like 80% or 90% on the breath and 10% on the counting. And if you count beyond 10, then the mind tends to be drawn too much to the counting. So most counting techniques will stop at 10, and one method is in breath 1, out breath 1, in breath 2, out breath 2, and go up to 10, and then repeat. A variation is to go 1 to 10, and then 10 to 1, and then 1 to 10. Another variation is that you the count, the number, is only comes into the mind at the end of the out breath. So I think it's probably possible to apply it just at the end of the in-breath, the out-breath, but I think for most people find the end of the out-breath feels comfortable. So in-breath, out-breath, at the end of the out-breath, 1. In-breath, out-breath, at the end of the out-breath, 2. Again, if the mind's becoming sluggish, then you can count rapidly. As a way of bringing some energy into the mind, is like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, both on the in breath and the out breath. Again, you can experiment with what works for you, but it's a skillful means of strengthening the connection between the knower and the known. But whether, let me just go through some more options here. You can count 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. And then if you've been able to sustain that without getting distracted, then you count 1, 1, 2, 2, 3 to 6, 6, and then count the breaths from 1, 1, 2, 2 to 7, 7, and then to 8, 8, and then to 9, 9, and then to 10, 10. So that would be one cycle. This kind of breath counting is very good if your mind is very agitated, or you're just beginning to meditate and lack much self-confidence, and it, as the other forms of counting, particularly this one, has the advantage of giving you some measure of progress. So at the beginning, maybe even to count 5 consecutive breaths is a real challenge. But after a while you can do it, and you can do 5, and then on to 6, and then on to 7, and you can see for yourself the progress that you've made. and then maybe you can get to 10, and then you can do a second cycle. One of the things that undermines chanda and enthusiasm is this doubt: I'm not getting anywhere, I can't do this, it's too difficult for me, and so on. And having this counting technique where you can see very clearly that you have made progress in the number of breaths that you can be mindful of. That's very empowering in the beginning. But with the bodhigama or the mantra or the counting, these are initial techniques, and after a while they start to feel heavy and they're dragging you down, and then you can put them aside and just turn to the sensation of the breath. So they may or may not be helpful to you, but it's good to be familiar with these skillful means and know how and when that you may best apply them. But the three qualities that we do need, irrespective of technique, irrespective of skillful means, are mindfulness, clear comprehension, and atapi. So atapi is the optimum effort to prevent the arising of non-arisen unwholesome dhammas, to abandon arisen unwholesome dhammas, to introduce into the mind the wholesome dhammas not yet there, and to nurture those that are there. So the intensity of effort is not a fixed thing. It's not that once you've got your effort at a particular level that you can leave it there. It needs to be constantly adapted and tweaked for as different challenges arise in the course of the meditation. So monitoring effort, and you're having feedback helping you to do this in terms of the tightness or tension, heaviness, which tells you that you're pushing too hard, or the dullness or agitation of mind and distractions that tell you that the effort is insufficient. So you're getting feedback, in real time through the hindrances and other mental states that arise as you practice, helping you to tweak effort, and it becomes atapi. And to repeat that mindfulness means not forgetting what you're doing, bearing the task in mind, bearing the breath in mind, not forgetting the breath. Sampajanya is the awareness, all-round awareness, includes awareness of purpose, awareness of suitability, not forgetting your purpose in meditation. And sampajanya tells us whether our practice is in harmony, it's going to lead in the way that we want it to lead or not. Sampajanya is most clearly seen when you become distracted, and that moment when you become aware that you're distracted, that's sampajanya, the recognition that what you're thinking about is not in harmony with your aspirations and goals and your intention in meditation. So learning, working, trying stuff out. If you've got something that works already and you're happy with that, then you can discard these options or store them away for a rainy day. But keep working and keep the mind fresh and maintaining these three qualities of mindfulness, clear comprehension, alert, or another translation would be alertness or wakefulness, and optimum level of effort.